Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Hey, I just wanted to kind of put a video out there of doing kind of a comparison review, an informal comparison review of a couple aerosols that I've been considering. By any means, this is not a sponsored video or anything like that. Just wanted to maybe put it out there for somebody that is indecisive as much as I am on an aerosol. You know, I've heard a lot of different comments and reviews on different sols, and I know, you know, it's pretty much what you pay for is the general term. So I've just got a couple mid-grade sols out there that I've been considering. I don't have, you know, the top of the line sol here or anything like that. So the two that I've been considering is a sol made by Weston. This sol here you can get on, well, I believe you can get it on Amazon. There's different ones that have this particular sol, but it's roughly around $200. This sol here, I've seen it, you know, named a few different names. I don't know why, but D-E-C-U-T, Decut, we'll just call it. And also Lancaster has this for, I think it's labeled as XSpot. So you've got the Decut, that's about a 6,000 RPM sol, and it uses a 3.5 inch blade. It's a very thin blade, just to put that out there. And then also you have the Weston sol that's a 3-inch blade, and it is an 8,000 RPM sol. The Weston also has a vacuum attachment that comes with it where you can reclaim some of that, not really reclaim, but at least capture some of that carbon dust and dust in general out there. So that's nice. It kind of keeps your work area clean, your sol blade clean, things like that. This one does not. Doesn't mean that you can't rig something up to kind of capture that dust. Yeah, so this sol here, the Decut, it has a smaller footprint than the Weston sol. The Weston sol is probably about 30 some inches in diameter, or yeah, it's 40 inches actually, and it sets on a very heavy metal angle iron, and it's cut out for the motor. It's a little bit loud, but it's not too bad. It's manageable. When you turn it on, I mean, it has rubber feet at the bottom, but it vibrates a little bit, so kind of gives you an idea. So it's a pretty strong motor, but it's a little bit loud. This one, on the other hand, it's a little quieter. It has a smaller footprint, but yet it's also adjustable. So this bar here will slide out to any length of an arrow that you have to cut. So that's not an issue. So you can have it, if it's all the way in, you've got up to like 21 inches. And then from there, it goes all the way out and goes to about 35 inches. So again, that's everything that you will need. One thing that I did notice on this sol that I like in comparison to that one is there's a little bit more adjustability on this one. So before I forget, I've got the tape measure in my hand. Let me just measure the footprint. It's about 22 inches versus the 40 inches over there. So we'll put that to rest. Now back to the micro adjustments. You have the ability, when you put your arrow into the cradle and adjust it onto the cutting area of the saw, that you can get it to where you need it to for the length of the arrow that you're wanting to cut. But then also you have a little bit more of a micro adjustment. So there's a knob over here that will move that very so slightly back and forth. So it kind of fine tunes that length that you're wanting. And then also it all has a micro adjustment here for the depth of the blade. So you can cut all the way into the arrow, 1/4 inch or however thick that arrow is, or you can just cut the wall of the arrow, the single wall of the arrow as you're rotating. There's pros and cons out there of what's right and what's wrong, and I'm not here to get into that, but you have that adjustability as well to bring that tray, that cutting tray, in and out. Also, what I've noticed on this one is that it doesn't have any kind of arrow roller, you know, to spin your arrows or anything like that. And so if you've got one that's, you know, a separate unit, then that's not a problem. So then you can spin your arrows there and kind of test that straightness of your arrow. And whereas this one, it comes with really nice, again, heavy duty. These are metal, and they're metal ball bearings, rollers, and you can put that right on top of the angle iron. It's out of the way of the cutting path, and you can put that on there and you can roll your arrows. Now, it's a little bit sticky on the rollers. They need to be freed up a little bit, but you get the idea. That's pretty handy to have. This is your cradle for your arrow, such as what we have here on this one, right? So you put this here, you lock it into place, and then you can adjust that length that you're wanting for that arrow to be cut off of there. You do have, however, if you take this shield off, and I could just do that real quick, you have this little housing for the vacuum area, and if you take that off, you have a little bit of adjustability on this. You have a guide here that you have a screw that has a slot, and you loosen that and you can bring that in and out. And so that'll kind of adjust that depth of the cutting wheel on your arrow. So it's good in the fact that you do have adjustability, but not as precise of adjustment here. Just something to note. Also, I did notice when I was talking about the blades earlier, this is a 3-inch blade, and it's a little bit thicker. I mean, it's still somewhat thin, but it is a little bit thicker than this one. This is a very, almost paper thin, if you will. Let me bring the camera over a little bit closer to kind of show you what I'm talking about. So you can kind of see here, you can see where that's adjusted right here with that bolt, that screw. And then let's go pan over here to this one. And this one has, again, that micro adjustability here for the in and out tray. And then also the cradle that the arrow sets in. You have a knob on the end where that can go back and forth either way. But just a nice little pan area. Also, what's nice about this one is you have a foot pedal for the power. So I just have it ran on the table for right now. But you can operate that from the floor, makes it nice and convenient. This one has a switch for the power off the wall. Alrighty, so let me get set back up here again. All right, and then we'll continue. All right, bear with me here. So let me give you a little bit of a demonstration of the cut and how pretty much how smooth each one of these do cut. I mean, again, it's 8,000 RPMs and you got 6,000 RPMs over here. So we'll go with this one here. I've just got a couple junk carbon pieces that I have just for testing. So we'll go with this one first. A little noisy, but noisy if you take these off. Maybe lock this down a little bit, so that would help. And maybe for your cutting, you can just take the rollers off. And there you go. Nice cut, not too bad. And then you use the square off tool to square off the end. But it cuts very well. Like I said, pretty noisy, but definitely a heavy duty work saw. This one here, let's give it a try. So we'll put it in the cradle and adjust this length, just to cut off a little bit of a section here for comparison. And the same way, and of course, if you're going to be cutting your own arrows and you want to be a little bit more precise, I'm doing this as I'm videoing, so obviously I would be, you know, kind of holding on to this a little bit better and more sturdy and getting a nice cut. But what I did cut earlier did not fray it whatsoever and splinter it, so that's good. That's one thing you want to look for in a saw. So here we go. And there you are. Didn't bog down at all. Very nice cut, straight cut, no frays. Very nice and smooth. Again, being a 6,000 RPM versus an 8,000 RPM. It's very quiet and very smooth, so I do like that. I like all the different functions of this versus this one, as me personally. Maybe for a bow shop, if I had a bow shop and I cut hundreds of arrows a week, this may be the workhorse, but this is very nice and precise and adjustable, and I do like that. So again, just wanted to kind of put something out there for everybody. If you've been considering a saw, really even specifically these two saws, it just kind of gives you a little bit of a comparison and a review of what the main differences are. And again, that's my opinion. So thank you for visiting my channel, and I hope you enjoy this, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you.